so it's just never really.
That tire selector is a real neat one.
It is really neat. Yeah, you can select the tire. You got your numbers and letters, and you can kind of select what you want there, and then you figure out in the points which tire you want to get.
Cool.
The
Okay, guys, we've moved downstairs here, and Ken's got a ton of stuff down here. We're just going to scan over some of the larger signs in the basement here. And most of his can collection is down here as well. When we get into that room, we'll talk about that. That's pretty impressive.
Don't mind the mess here. It's not my mess, but you know, we got some.
And that's a sign that would have been on the gas station.
Would have been over top of the bay doors on the gas station. Yeah.
British American dealer.
Yeah.
And that sign is mint.
Well, it's not exactly mint, but it's pretty good. It's got a few. It's plastic. It's a plastic sign, so there's a few chips and stuff off of it. But
wow. And to have all the letters, I'm sure,
yeah, it is
a big accomplishment.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of neat. I know I got a whole bunch of letters with that, and those letters have been sent across Canada to finish up some other collections.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've sent to a few guys down east to finish off their letter, their signs.
Now, that's a big sign right there.
That is a long one, yeah.
That's, what is that, 12 feet?
Something like that. It's like 100 and something inches, so it's probably pretty close.
And that's a porcelain one side.
Yeah, one sided porcelain. What they call a cookie cutter. It's flanged around there.
Right.
So it's got
an edge to it.
Yeah.
Wow, it's pretty.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat sign.
Now this room.
This is what I call my can room.
Yeah, the can room. So this room has 500 cans in it.
Just under 500 quart cans, different quart cans, counting the BA ones.
So where would you like to start here, Ken?
Well, we'll start right from the beginning. This can is what started it all.
That's the very first BA can in your collection.
Very first BA anything. And that was in the shop at the farm, and it was upside down, full of nuts and bolts. And when I decided I was going to do a gas pump and what I was going to do it in, I remembered BA, and I was looking in the shop and I saw it there. I thought, hey, I think I'll take that home. And that was the first can. And as far as I know, I can't think of any other reason to believe that it wouldn't be. My grandpa would have bought that can.
Yeah.
There could have been other reasons, but I don't know. There's my dad and grandpa aren't around, but I have reason to believe that my grandpa would have bought that can back in the day.
So that's as important as any can in this room is that one.
It is. That's what started it all off.
It started the whole thing.
Yep. You know, and there's lots of different ones. You know, as you can see, the bow tie to the round, to the blue transitional, to the dark blue transition. You know, that's kind of the part of the transition there from the bow tie to just before it went to Gulf.
Right. So the bow tie, and that started right from the beginning?
No, actually it didn't. These were before bow tie. And before that was sickle and hammer. And then there was Lifesaver, and then this logo, and then it went to the bow tie logo.
Oh, okay, and then the bow tie.
Yeah. The bow tie started in 1928. 1928 is when the bow tie started. Oh, this is a little foggy there.
Come on, focus camera. There we go.
1928 to 1948. 1948, 1950. To 1966, and then early 67, and then 67, 68, and 69 were those two.
Wow.
And there's some interesting cans here as like cardboard composite cans that were in the early 60s. Another can that's quite, the only one I've ever come across is a complete aluminum can.
Yeah.
Never been lidded, never been filled. The only one that that I've conversed with my other collector friends that we know of, and we're thinking it's probably a short run of experimental cans, is what we think. So
yeah, and you've got one.
I have got one, yeah.
So there couldn't have been too many of those.
I don't think there was a whole lot. None of the can collectors that I know of that I've asked has seen another one.
Wow.
That's the restored sandwich board can rack. I've got another one behind you there that's just, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to restore that one or do something else, but it's actually, to come across two of them is quite...
Kind of rare, eh?
Well, yeah, I had this one here. I was excited to get this one, and then all of a sudden that one fell on my lap, and I thought, holy cow, all of a sudden I got two of them, but I'd never thought I'd ever get one of them. And
tourist information,
yeah. And this is a local leather jacket from a guy that had a gas station, BA station in town, and he also sponsored the hockey team, the BA Oilers, and they won 56-57. They won their league or whatever in 1956-57.
Wow, is that ever cool?
And he's as far as I know from what he said, that's the only jacket left of the whole team.
Wow.
From that year. So that was kind of neat to have.
BA sponsored team.
Yeah. From a guy that actually owned a BA station.
Oh, is that ever cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like those cabinets.
They're
nice.
The seals cabinets, yeah. And lots of different things. Paint cans, lube tubes, even got some different mistakes. The
logos.
The logos, yeah. And even back there.
Wow.
And even along.
Oh, the way
the whole thing's kind of, it's a little bit offset. Kind of neat.
Wow.
They're kind of neat, to come by something like that. They're kind of a mistake, but it's a different, something that's different.
I'm just blown away by what kind of condition these grease tubes are in.
Yeah.
Like
they were actually full. I've emptied them out. That's why the box is so oil soaked, because they were still... These are okay because they've got a wax coating on them, eh?
Ah, okay.
So that's why they stay nice, but the cardboard just soaks up the grease, so that's why So I emptied out the tubes. And these are kind of interesting. These are sap pails from down east. Somebody did a really, really good job on making them.
So they put together
they put
a bin.
Yeah, like
made some
sap.
kind of...
Yeah, they put the tap through the maple trees.
Oh, that was for syrup.
Yeah, for sap, and they.
Yeah, that is a nice job of making that.
I got two of them, and
is that soldered together?
That's crimped and soldered inside.
Yeah, there you go.
And they're crimped together and then soldered. Just a beautiful job on them.
Yeah.
Same with the pour cans. Like that's an art.
Yeah, somebody took the time to take that and make a pour out of it.
And that one there, like.
Make a nice job.
Yeah.
You know what that reminds me of, Ken? When I first, and this is going to kind of date me, when I first got my first car, I had a 68 Ford Fairlane, my very first car. Of course, I had to do my own oil changes. And back then, the first year or two I drove, they actually still sold oil in cans. And I remember the very first Christmas, I got one of those puncture funnels.
Yeah.
In my Christmas stocking, and I was so pleased to get that stupid thing.
I know, yeah.
I was so happy. I needed that.
Yeah.
I had to do my own oil change. Couldn't afford to pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm doing my own oil changes. I'm real happy I got this tool. It would have made a puncture just like that.
Well, this is actually a different puncture. It actually pushes it down. It's almost like a orange juice squeezer.
Oh.
You push the whole thing and it just pushes the whole thing and it just glugs right in. Where most of them are I don't know if I have any here. You know, they'd be something like that.
Right.
Or like that.
Oh,
Most of
okay.
them are like that. This is actually kind of a unique one. This one here. It's quite a. It looks like quite a weapon actually. When
Well, yeah.
to poke a hole in there like that. Yeah.
The one I had was just the average stab funnel.
Like the one I had up upstairs in the on that dispenser garbage thing. There
okay.
I had
yes.
one on the side there. Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, I think it was the first year or the second year I was driving. Then they changed to plastic bottles.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off when they did that because now I had this tool that I was really happy to have that was rendered absolutely useless.
Yeah. But yeah, like even, cardboard boxes, again, more cardboard stuff that doesn't usually get, saved. It's
stuff that normally would get the paper products certainly wouldn't normally last and stay in the condition they do, but you've got some really nice stuff here.
Yeah, kind of credit cards like that. We're gonna kind of go off track here a little bit, and some of these toys are mine and my family's toys. This is my Tonka Jeep and boat set, still with the box.
Wow.
I got that Christmas, I'm going to say probably about 1966 or so. That, and then I got the same year for my birthday in the spring, I got the John Deere tractor.
Well, you sure took care of them. Like they're really, really nice shape.
The only thing, actually, I'm missing the boat or the motor for this one here, and I can get a motor for it. This truck and this, I've restored these two.
Yeah.
These were my brothers. They were my brothers back in the 50s. I think these are 1958 or so.
Wow.
And my brothers played with them, and I got them now, and I restored them to as close to what they were as I could. I still got to do the tires on this one here. Should have a green box. I might do that. And then another Tonka truck that I restored that I really like is this transport hauler. It's kind of
nice.
Cool. And then I got some other ones. I got other ones too, but these are the ones that I kind of really like, especially the ones from my family and from me being a kid. They're it's especially
nice and to still have the box.
Still have the box too. Yeah, it's kind of cool.
A lot of people collect different things, but the one thing with this gas and oil stuff, it's an investment.
It is.
It's a huge investment. Yeah. It's it's not like collecting stamps or coins. This stuff is valuable, and some of it is very rare.
Yeah, like the batteries in the battery boxes. This is actually a new old stock. It's never been in a vehicle.
Oh, okay.
Yep, never been in a vehicle. That one obviously has been 6-volt batteries, but that one's never been hooked
brand
up to a
new.
vehicle. Yep. Up here, these are original pump plates that would have been on the front of the gas pumps.
Gas pumps, yeah.
Right from 88, 98. Plastic porcelain. A couple more plastic ones there. They also used the decal in the years too. So they'd had. I guess it depended, maybe a region or maybe the dealer didn't want to spend the money, but they either had a porcelain, a plastic one, screw on. Diesels would have had their own pump plate, or they would have had a decal put on, painted and then a decal. So that's kind of like that. Maybe that BA one that could have been on a pump. I don't know, but yeah. And then we got some other stuff here too. We got different kinds. We got lots of different 4-ounce cans in a rack. Different
antifreeze, gas line antifreeze,
even little banks, upper lubricant, solar pack, rad add. That's for corrosion for in your radiator or in your fuel tanks, and then this is for your fuel tanks to keep the corrosion out of the tanks too.
Right. Wow.
and then different versions of 5-gallon pails and whatnot, and grease pails. That's a very early. This is probably that's the hammer and sickle. That would have been. This would have been probably close to 1906. That would have been. That's over 100-year-old can. That's the first logo. Is the hammer and sickle, or hammer and anvil, is what they call.
That's 100 years old.
That
right
would
there.
be over that. That would probably be
Wow.
close to about 1906 when that one came out.
Wow, one of the earliest.
Yeah, one of the earliest, that hammer and anvil, and then they had. I don't have anything with the Lifesaver logo, and then it went to that other one we saw earlier, and then the bow
And then
tie,
bow
and
tie.
then
Would this be a 5-gallon?
that's a
or-
5-gallon. Yep, and then that's the
Wow.
box that would have came in, the wooden box.
Oh,
that
you got the box for it.
got a box that would have came in. Yep.
One 5-gallon can. Incredible, Ken. That's cool.
And then we got my Canadian quart oil cans. And that's, I blame this on a couple of friends of mine
Yeah.
out in Alberta for getting me into this. They really got me hooked on the quart cans. They've got, this is nothing compared to what they have. I've got friends that have thousands of different ones, but it's a fun hobby to
Well, yeah, searching this stuff out, finding new
Yep.
stuff, knowing what the price should be. You've
Yep.
really got to do your research. This
Yep.
this is a lot of legwork to know
it
what
is-
to buy
Yes.
and what price to
Yeah,
pay for it.
you're right. Yeah. And
The conditions of the cans. There's so many things that affect the
Yeah.
value. And like I said, these are investment. I've often said that muscle car, a properly restored car is like an RSP. It's like playing with an investment.
mhm.
It's something that you can have fun with, and
yeah.
and the challenge of sourcing this stuff out, finding the right stuff.
Well, there is a fella in Edmonton, Ralph Falvo. He took us through his, give us a personal tour of his collection, and he told me that was his RSP.
Yeah,
That was his investment. He didn't buy RSPs. That was his retirement, and he sold his collection for, I think, $5.5 million.
wow. That,
And it was a pretty impressive collection.
yeah. Well, what you've got here is really impressive
Well,
too.
not like his, but I mean, it's it's fun. It's fun to do.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
No, as a car guy, and most car guys, I think would appreciate this. I certainly do. I've got I don't really have a collection. I've got, I think, 12 cans in my garage.
I think
More
I gave
of it.
you 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah, you gave them most of them to me.
But that's the thing. I don't know anybody that collects the stuff that isn't a car guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Pretty
I
much.
think car guys in general are going to appreciate.
And it starts off, like they have a car and they have it in their garage and thought, well, it'd be kind of neat to put a gas pump beside it and maybe a few cans.
Yeah.
Well,
it's all
I
part
tell
of
you
the,
what, it gets addicting. You get that first gas pump or that first can, and you see some more, and you see some more, and you see some more, and that's how all these collections get started.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to see. There's. Tell me about this one here. This one looks.
That's another one. There's a little bit better one on the other one, but that's another early can. That would be about the same time. Yeah, it's pretty rough there. That would be about the same time as that 5-gallon one. That is very early 1900s, probably between 1906 and 1910.
Wow.
And that it's shaped like that. Most of them are like this, or even maybe flatter, so they can fit underneath the seat of a Model A or Model T car.
Oh, okay. That was its purpose. But
Yeah.
that's the reason for its
Yep.
shape.
Yep, for these ones here, because these would be along in the car, because back then the cars went through a lot of oil when they drove them.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
There are other ones there that are actually GM and Ford specific for BA, and they're also shaped. They're kind of a little bit longer and narrower, again, to slide underneath the side or the seat, or put in a small area in the car to store them while they're driving.
Cool.
But that's another early can.
This is a coolest history lesson I've ever had. Automotive related history lesson. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but back in the day, no viscosities on cans. Whereas today it's all about viscosities.
Yeah. A lot of them have different dating is a lot of them. Some of them, the net contents. Some of them have. I'm just trying to find one here that have. Oh, let's see. Well, some of them have their specifications on the lid.
Right.
Yeah, here like API service, stuff like that. They'll have that. That there's different years that has those too. For different that's your different viscosities and stuff like that. A lot of that, like there's one there for services, MD, MS, DG, DM, whatever that's just, and there's another MM, MSDG, and ML, MM, just different stuff like that there. Your API, whatever that means. There's some guys that actually have researched that to
find out its purpose.
Find out its purpose, and a lot of guys will date cans with that sort of stuff.
With that information,
too. I kind of go the lazy route, and I'll look up in a magazine or talk to other people. But speaking of dating, there are a lot of people that make the mistake of dating a can. By what's on the can, and that is not true. I'm just gonna give you an example here. Oh, there. A lot of them have a number on the can, usually in the bottom corner, and they usually have a can. A lot of people will make the mistake of dating a can with that number. That number is the facility number where that can was made. There'll be a little logo or a number on there. And, yeah, a lot of people will make the mistake. A lot of the BA cans have a that's a 90. A lot of BA cans will have I'm trying to find one there. Yeah, a lot of BA cans will have a 54 on there. They say, a lot of people say, well, it's a 1954 can. Well, that's not true. That 54 is the facility number. That 54 is the Toronto canning packaging facility, and then there were numerous ones all across Canada. But a lot of people make the mistake of dating cans with that number, which is totally inaccurate. There's different ones. There's 54 is the Toronto. That was the big main one. 90, I think, is something like Montreal or something like that. So if somebody tells you look at a can and says, well, that's 1954. Well,
and that's not the case. That's where it was produced.
That was where it was packaged. Yep.
Right.
And like I say, I will go and I will research stuff like that to find out dates on a lot of stuff like that. A lot of this stuff here is usually in the late 50s, early 60s. Most of that, And then you get into those logos are only 67, 68, and 69. So you can pretty much,
that helps you narrow it down.
Yeah.
And you were saying some of the smaller cans are really tough to get nowadays.
They're getting to be tougher, Probably the common ones for here, or for the BA ones, are the tone cans. There's lots of those tone cans. I got oodles of those. That seems to be the common one, smaller cans. It's the other ones like some of the liquid solder and the fast flush and stuff like that, and the little cans. They're harder to find. And there's different versions of them too. As for example, there's two different. I think actually there's more. I think there's 3 or 4 different versions of these cans here. One's a paper label, one's a painted label, and then there are 1 or 2 other different versions with different writing on them. So if you're a really hardcore collector, you check that out, and if it's got some different writing on it, that's a different version type of thing.
Wow, Ken, you sure got a lot of. Well, I guess how many years have you been collecting now?
It's been 21 years.
21 years. So
Yeah.
you've got 21 years of experience and
Yeah.
information on
Yeah.
BA and other
And,
products as well.
Yeah. And not only there's not only that, even cooking molasses.
Oh wow, I didn't know they made
Came
that
in
in a can.
In a can. Cooking molasses. There is linseed oil. I got a couple there with linseed oil. There's 3 of them with linseed oil. Yeah, there's lots of, but the hard to find ones. Western Motor Oil, Miramart, Farmore, Elgin. They're tough to find cans because they're a regional oil can. Like a lot of these are down east, and there's little small companies that make their own and package and sell their own. So a lot of these you don't see in Western Canada,
Yeah.
and a lot of the Western ones don't see down east. So it's kind of neat. Stuff like Bardol and Shell and Gulf was from coast
Everywhere.
to coast.
Yeah, it
But
went
then
everywhere.
you get stuff like Victor was basically southern Saskatchewan. Southern Saskatchewan. Sturdy was mostly southwest Saskatchewan and mostly southern Alberta, mostly around Lethbridge. Velco, Irving Oil was pretty much Ontario and to the Maritimes. Same with Red Indian. A lot of people think Red Indian is very rare. Red Indian is one of the more popular cans. It's just the logos. There's more Red Indian everywhere. Everybody's got a Red Indian can. They're still asking a lot of money for them, but they're not rare.
Yeah.
They're just as they're very, very common. Beaver is another. Windsor, Ontario, Monarch. Some of these, even stuff like Turbo is Alberta and Saskatchewan. This one here, Silver Prime, came out of Regina.
Wow.
Now they don't see those down east.
No.
Where down east, we don't see the down east ones here. Antelope, Henneco is Manitoba only. You don't see them coming out of Manitoba much. Manitoba ones. There's some more Edmonton ones. These are all Edmonton. They don't really go past Edmonton, those cans, so it's kind of interesting. Ontario, or BC, I mean. These, you don't see them coming out of the borders of BC very much. XL.
You've got the whole country represented here.
Yeah, pretty much. Woodwards, I got some Woodwards over there. They're out of BC as well. You'll get BC and Alberta. They're mostly in those